Welcome to Time Out, an exciting new educational video series brought to you by First Case. In this series, we're bringing you easy-to-access education with no fees and no tests. Break free from boring staff meetings and dive into educational content that you can put into practice immediately. So let's get started with today's episode of Time Out.
Welcome to Time Out. On today's episode, I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the operating room and then share 5 tips to help you succeed. Let's get started. Operating rooms exist in many different settings across the US and around the world. You'll find operating rooms in hospitals, ambulatory surgery centers, mobile surgical units, and even in some doctor's offices. Sterile procedures can be performed in units like endoscopy, pain management, laser centers, and interventional radiology as well. No matter the setting, our collective goal is to deliver patient care that is safe and effective while being efficient with our time and resources. The operating room as a department is made up of a multitude of people: surgeons, PAs, RNFAs, and CSTFAs, anesthesiologists, CRNAs, OR nurses, surgical technologists, radiology techs, patient care assistants, sterile processing technicians, and a wide assortment of residents and students who are training as well. Each of us are uniquely trained to fill different roles within the department, but each role is distinctly valuable. Together, we are the surgical team, and we're all working toward that common goal: safe and effective patient care. Now, here are the 5 tips I'm going to share with you today. Number 1, don't touch anything blue. If it's blue, it's considered sterile. And if you touch it, you'll contaminate it. So don't. Number 2, when in doubt, throw it out. This is an age-old saying within the OR. Simply put, if you're not sure if an item is safe to use or if there's a question about its sterility, throw it out. Don't risk the well-being of your patient if you're not 100% sure something is safe or sterile. Number 3, always grab 2. If you're sent out of the room to grab something, always come back with extra. You might drop the first one when you open it, or the surgeon may decide they need another one right after you give them the first one. So just be prepared and have an extra available. You can always put it back at the end of the case if it's not needed. Number 4, speak up. If you contaminate something, say so. We've all done it at least once, if not more. Don't try to hide it or cover it up. It's just putting the patient at risk when you do. And finally, number 5, never be afraid to ask a question. We've often heard it said, you don't know what you don't know. And it's true. The OR is a unique environment. So when you're unsure of something, ask. You're putting your patient and potentially yourself at risk when you guess rather than ask a question. We're all still learning, so we all need to ask questions from time to time. And when you do ask, pay attention to the answer. These 5 tips are just the tip of the iceberg. But if you start with these, you're setting yourself up for success. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for Time to Learn About Time Management. I'm your host, Melanie Perry. Thanks for watching.
That's going to do it for this episode of Time Out. As a reminder, you can help support us with a like, a share, or by subscribing to this channel. You can also subscribe to the First Case podcast on your favorite podcast application. I would appreciate a rating and a review because your feedback is important to this show. On behalf of everyone at First Case, thank you for watching this episode of Time Out.